Welcome. In this lecture, I want to go through what it means for two sets to be disjoint, because this is something that we often use. It shows up in definitions and so on a lot. So it's good to just kind of get this terminology out there. So suppose that we have two sets, A and B. So suppose that A and B are sets. So we have A and B are sets. And then we have this definition which says A and B are disjoint. So A and B are, and the word we use for it is disjoint. Okay, and they're disjoint if and only if, right? And I use this in a definition. It's actually logically correct to use that in the definition. Okay, it just means I'm defining it to be true when we have that A intersect B equals the empty set. Right, so there are no common elements between them. Okay, so i.e. A and B contain no common elements. i.e. A and B contain no common elements. Right, so for example, I could take, let's do this in another color. Oh, well, yeah, okay, I like this because this is a disjoint circumstance and the yellow and green are a little similar, so it's good. Okay, so here's our example, is that A equals 1, 2. Oops, I was gonna, should use my same colors, right? A equals, I always forget, this really doesn't work like that. Okay, let's just make it red. So A equals 1, 2, and B equals 4, 5 are disjoint. Right. How do we know that these are disjoint? Well, one way to do this, and this is to prove, so I'm going to write this in a moment also, is that to check each element of, you could choose which one you want to start with, so start with the smaller one maybe, and check that each element is not contained in the other. There's no overlapping element. So 1, not contained in B. 2, not contained in B. Disjoint. Okay, so how to prove? Okay, is it just check each element. So check each element of A is not in B, so is not in B. So you can do that, or you could check or you can check each element of B is not in A. Now check can just mean, right, if these are big sets, you're not going to be checking them one at a time. You can do this as a proper proof. When I say check, check you could think of as, you know, or in other words, check or prove, right? So it might be a more general proof. You might have to set it in an arbitrary form and then work with that. But that's the that would be how you do that. Now, how would you how to prove fails? So how to disprove? Now it becomes an existence thing, right? There it was a for all statement, so you really had to look kind of a little bit more there. And so how do we disprove? We find a common element, right? This becomes existence proof, so this is an existence proof. Okay, so show there exists a common element between A and B. Okay, so show there exists a common element right between A and B. So between A and B. Okay, so right, so what does that mean in existence proof? There, right, I would have to state the element, like in my scratch work I'd find the element and then I would state the element and show that it actually is, it works, so it is in both A and B. Okay, disjoint sets, they have no common elements. So to prove that two sets are disjoint, you need to show that there cannot be any element in common between them. You can do that by showing each element of one of them is not in the other. Or, you know, this might have to be a more arbitrary, you know, like, so you might not be able to go element by element. This is kind of a for all statement. So you might have to set it in some kind of form so that you can, like 2K or something, so that you can actually manipulate it to show, you know, the logic to show that it's not in B. Or, so now in a circumstance, right, or you can do the thing where you show each element in A, or B is not in A, so either way works. When you're disproving it, it becomes an existence proof, so you need to show that there's a common element between A and B. So you kind of state what that element is and then show that indeed it is in both A and B, because that's what it means to work in this circumstance, okay? So, I hope that is helpful, and I will see you in the next lecture.